Yes, it's everybody's favorite time of the day once again. Welcome to Satoshi's Bitcoin Chart Show. This is the Bitcoin forecast, the strength of the system, the health of the network, where we find out what's up with what is going down. Today's day is Friday, the 20th of June, 2025, the year BSV comes alive. Branch your threads, expand your mind with treechat.ai. All your posts put on chain. Right, let's get into it.
Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, them transactions flying free. Just wait for the Terra node, you'll surely see.
Alrighty, here we go. Looking forward to looking at these figures, because I've obviously been away for a few days, 4 days to be precise, since I did my last show. So let's see what we've got here. Oh, I think GregCoin, that's taken a bit of a tumble. I think that was $105,000. And for any newbies who wonder why we call it GregCoin, this is why we call it GregCoin, because it's not Bitcoin. The term GregCoin was coined by Mike Hearn on the 29th of July 2015 in a conversation with Greg Maxwell, when he said, look, it's clear you've decided that the way Bitcoin was meant to evolve isn't to your personal liking. That's fine. Go make an altcoin where your founding documents state that it's intended to always run on a 2015 Raspberry Pi or whatever it is you mean by small device. Then when someone says, gee, it'd be nice if we had some more capacity, you can go point at the announcing emails and say, no, GregCoin is meant to always be verifiable on small devices. That's our social contract, and it's written into the consensus rules for that reason. And this is why GregCoin is not Bitcoin, because it doesn't operate like Bitcoin. It was never designed to function like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. GregCoin is a digital piece of dog shit and doesn't work. That's why we call it GregCoin. Here we go. Right, so we got B Crash 486, Fisher Price Cash, who cares? But then we got Bitcoin. The original protocol goes right back to the Genesis block. It hasn't changed, making it the real Bitcoin, the true Bitcoin, the genuine Bitcoin, and the world's first and only ever digital commodity, backed by the value of data sovereignty, making it the most valuable commodity on earth because it's an extension of our own personal freedoms and liberties. And you can see that when a blockstream headed by Greg Maxwell implemented SegWit, that they had to implement replay protection in order to stop transactions flowing back onto the main chain. Same with Bcrash when they created their CTOR fork, where they had actions recorded in a canonical transaction ordering rather than chronological order, which means you now have a third-party tampering with Bcrash transactions, meaning it's not a commodity and it's a centrally controlled security offering. But the original protocol and genuine Bitcoin that goes back to the Genesis block is still intact today, but it's just got the ticker symbol BSV. How exciting is that? And look at that, $31. $31 for the genuine Bitcoin. That is crazy. Right, let's have a look at hash rate then. So 0.04%. Let's have a look at the difficulty adjustment on GregCoin. Oof, is this oh, look at that. Oh, just below another record high again. Miners are going to be absolutely screwing. Absolutely screwing. Difficulty adjustment keeps going up, more and more hash rate coming onto the network, but the price is nowhere near what it needs to be in order to economically sustain the mining operations. They're going to collapse, and it's been purposely designed that way. I mean, we're already at 3.12. The next halving goes down to 1.25. There is no way they're going to survive. They're going to tell everybody that they need to either convert it to proof of stake or add inflation. Central controlled governance. It's coming for big GregCoin, and that was always the intention from the very beginning. Let's look at the hash rate on difficulty adjustment on Bitcoin. See, look at that. That is fluid, far more fluid. It adjusts almost like automatically, depending on how much hash rate comes on and off the network. So that's 24 hours. All right, yeah, just plodding along quite nicely in the last week. Oh, okay. Yeah, sort of up and down on the month. Very good, very good. Let's have a look at the hash rate. So hash rate on Bcrash just heading up a little bit. Hash rate on Bitcoin, oh, just a slight uptick there. Nothing to write home about there, really. Because that had been steady as a rock over the last year. Look at that. Beautiful. And all those miners that have been mining genuine Bitcoin all this time. Look, you can see all the hash war shenanigans there. And this is when it sort of hash rate is leveled out. Very good, very good. Network nodes 0.18. So for anybody, any newbies who are watching the show who haven't seen a network node, these are they. This is the backbone to the new global financial system, the world's first ever commoditized digital network for commercial use cases. Just absolutely blows my mind every time. Absolutely massive. It's just all this from just one 9-page white paper. I mean, just sensational stuff. Sensational stuff. Yeah. Just amazing. Amazing. And look at that, all outside of government. This was just economic initiative. Look at that, bit farms. Wow, brilliant stuff. Right, let's have a look at transactions across all forks here. So we've got Bitcoin with 53.19%. Let's have a look at that compared to the entire market. Oh, creeping up a little bit. Look, so there's a coin here that has got 11.4%. Of the entire market's transactions right now. And that is in front of GregCoin. Look, GregCoin with 10%, Bitcoin with 11.4%, XRP 21.4%, again like 677 million, pretty consistent, can't do anything, can't scale. And Ethereum 1.3 million, 43%. But look at that. So you've got a coin here which is literally in third place in terms of transaction volume on its network, and yet it is buried down in the market cap at just $31. Or yeah, $31 bang on top left now I'm just looking at. But I mean, look at that. It's just, the figures are just so out of sync. It's hilarious. You have to know that something like skullduggery is going on behind the scenes. That is crazy. Let's just cross-reference those transactions here. So we've got 361,624 transactions over the last 24 hours confirmed. We'll have a look at the mining figures in just a minute. Block size then. So look at this. Look, across all the Bitcoin forks, the block size 96.5. So for anybody who is wondering what the significance of these figures are, well, block size is the amount of data flowing up onto the network, because these are data networks. They are data protocols. You commoditize data in order to make sure that it can't be cracked, hacked, altered, changed, or deleted. So you can assure the integrity of the data. That's the whole point of it. But it needs to be a use case. If something is useful, it's valuable. If something is useless, it's worthless. This is the use case. So we have the block size, the amount of data. The data is uploaded via the transactions. So the transactions volume will vary depending on you have large quantities of data attached to it or small micro transactions, but that's the transactions there. Network nodes are the miners that create blocks and supply the hash rate. And the hash rate is what finds SHA-256 and wins the block reward. And that's meant to be attracted to the value, which is meant to be representative of the price, but the price is currently completely manipulated by Tether. So the market conditions that you're looking at are not natural at all. They're all manufactured. But it's like this. Block size and transactions are sanity. Network nodes and hash rate are vanity. Because you don't need network nodes or hash rate unless you have the block size and the transactions. So literally, when you have the block size and transactions, the network nodes, hash rate, and the price will follow. That's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. Let's have a look at the data coming through then. We've got a 20 megabyte block there. Not really big because we're used to looking at gigabyte blocks. 13, 16, 11. So there's more data in those 4 blocks than there is in the entire column of 30 blocks of GregCoin over there. B crash, no blocks over a megabyte, and Fisher Price Cash still struggling to get all of their blocks over a kilobyte, let alone anywhere near a megabyte. Hash rate, here we go. Hash rate follows price, follows value, follows utility, follows creativity, initiative, and intelligence. If you are intelligent and you apply creativity and initiative, you can make something useful. If something is useful, it can then create value. When it creates value, it can then develop a price. When it develops a price, it can then be measured against the cost of other goods and services and used as a medium of exchange. If something is useful, it's valuable. If something is useless, it's worthless. It's that simple. You really don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure it out. Proof of work by network since 1st of August 2017, since we had all the chain forks. Again, it says Bitcoin here. That should be GregCoin because the genuine Bitcoin is here over in red. So we'll just watch all these figures crumble when the time comes. Here we go. So it's currently 74,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than GregCoin, but you're mining Bitcoin at a 40.6% comparable loss. But it just goes to show you that the miners who are actually mining genuine Bitcoin literally are refusing to let go of it. They say, look at that, we don't mind mining it at a 40% comparable loss. There's no way we're mining these shit coins, you know. And these shit coiners with shit for brains aren't holding any genuine Bitcoin. Can you imagine? Oof. So it's currently 5.6% more profitable to mine on Fisher Price Cash over GregCoin and 3.5% more profitable to mine on Bcrash over GregCoin. But who cares, really? Daily average Bitcoin block size by network. Bitcoin smashing it. Transactions by network. Ooh, just level pegging there almost with GregCoin. Transactions per block by network down a little bit. Daily average Bitcoin fees by network. So this is fees as in like US dollar fees per transaction. Bitcoin winning sub-cent fees. And fee Satoshis, look at that right down there on the log curve, smashing these shit coins. Daily Bitcoin fee to block reward ratio. So the red line there will follow the solid blue line here. So as the block reward continues to get cut in half every 210,000 blocks, the block fee represented by the solid blue line here will eventually surpass the block reward, and then we have an economically self-sustaining system, which is what we are gunning for, and this is precisely what Blockstream and the cabal don't want, which is why they're developing these second layer solutions to starve miners of the transaction fees, telling people not many use it, digital dog shit, store of crap, pump it with Tether, just don't use it. It's going nowhere. You need volume. You need volumes of transactions to replace the block rewards, and that's only going to come with utility, which is usefulness. We know it, they know it, but it's just the newbies don't know it yet. But they'll see it, and the shitcoiners with shitful brains, well, they won't not be able to see it because it's going to hit them hard. Good grief, yeah. Right, let's have a look at this then. So daily accumulated Bitcoin blockchain growth by network. The only chart you really need to look at, to be honest with you, to show you what's going to happen in the future, because as Satoshi Nakamoto said, it is strictly necessary that the longest chain is always considered the valid one, and the longest chain is the one with the most data on it, which is this one here in red, which is genuine Bitcoin, BSV. Global hash rate 7 days, global hash rate 24 hours, GregCoin hash rate, other miners 8.33 on there. Oof, Bcrash, look at that, other miners up to 66.67. And it's still 3.5% more profitable to mine on it. Even with other miners with over 66% of the hash rate on the network. Look at that. Look at that. Still more profitable to mine on Bcrash. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Fisher Price Cash, who cares? But other miners, 67.36 on there. Oof, look at that. They're looking similar. They're looking similar. And Bitcoin, so we'll have to cross-reference this with what's on chain. Looking good here. Kuv 32.03, Tau 27.3, QD-Link 18.75, SA100 10.9. Oh, Gorilla Pool almost at 10%. That's 9.38. Nice one. And Mining Dutch trying to get looking at 1.56. Let's have a quick look at Crypto Quant then. So this is all exchanges reserves on GregCoin. Look at that. Look at that. Cashing out hand over fist. So even though the price of GregCoin has been surging and going up, I mean, look at this. So this is literally the exchange reserves. This is nothing to do with the supply and demand in the market. This is literally the exchange reserves. The exchanges keep these in reserves so that their clients, when they want to cash in and out of their shitcoins, they can literally, like, you know, use GregCoin, because that's the most liquid token out there, to convert into, you know, dollars, pounds, euros, whatever. But if they are getting rid of their reserves, that means they know something. Because they're keeping the reserves for their own profits and for their own liquidity so that their clients can cash out. If they are not holding these in reserves for their own benefit, there is a problem. A big problem. And look at that. Look at that. Oof. Jeepers. So really, this what purple line here should be what the actual market is doing. If the mom and pop investors, the regular retail investors knew what these people know, this is what they'd be doing, but they're not. So the exchanges are actually they're actually effectively trading against their own customers, because look, the customers are still buying, thinking that they're positive in the price, and the exchanges is just like, okay, thank you very much, nice one, see you later, we're off skis. We're literally off skis down the hill. We are out. Literally, they're out. I mean, if I was a retail investor and I saw this chart, like, I would be livid. I would be livid, because it's obvious that they know something, and then they're not indicating to the rest of the market. They're looking after themselves. They're just like, yeah, okay, we'll get out first. This is what you'd expect, and this is what we're seeing. People have no idea what's coming. Oh, what is this? Tether weather. So look at that, at $1. Let's have a look at the market cap though. They can't resist keeping their Ponzi going. So where's that gone from? 155 to 155.9, 59.7. So that is roughly 200 million. So $200 million gone in there just this afternoon. 200 million, just like that. And over the week, 155.2, so 700 million. So 700, almost like $750 million. $750 million in 7 days. And where are we now on the month? 151.6. Good grief. So look at this on the month. That's $4.5 billion. $4.5 billion in a month. Where are you going to get that from? Yeah, just made out from nothing. I mean, good grief. If you wonder why the crypto, the market has any market cap whatsoever, it's because of the printing of Tether. Literally just buying all this crap up, controlling the market through the manipulation. That's literally it. But let's have a look at money. How are we doing? Okay, nothing to report on the 24-hour, but oh, what's this? 129.1 up to 30.2. Hey, nice. So 129. So just 1.1 million gone in there in the last 7 days. I mean, that's another million. It's another million from literally a market cap coin that started at nothing. You know. So overall market cap $30 million. That's really good. Great on the month. Great on the month. 25.3 up to over 30. So yeah, like $5 million in the month. There it is on the year. But I mean, yeah, look at that. Literally started off at zero. Had an injection of capital at $5 million. Wow. And then it shot up to 10. Had another 5, and then another 2. I mean, this has actually had a better start than Tether. Starting off with just like sort of 250,000. Look at that, rising steadily. That's what you want. You want the most valuable fiat currency on the most secure digital network, so that transactions can't be lost. That is what you want. Amazing. Loving that. Loving that. That's really good news. Really good news. Look at this. Look at this BTC longs. What is the percentage now? All right, so 0.4%. I mean, we're used to looking at like 0.1 or 0.2. Good, and now we're looking at 0.4. So look at the longs, like literally just dropping off a cliff there. Short ratio 0.3. Oh, look at that. Did I see a 0.7 there? 0.6? .68, 0.69. There we go, 0.7%. The short ratio increasing to 0.7%. This is a real indication of market sentiment. Real indication. And look, that is heading down in the same way that the reserves were heading down. It's literally reserves going down, the long positions going down. Sooner or later, the price will go down, because these are the metrics you need to look at. This is what is going to tell you what is going to happen to the price. All these boys behind this, like the Crypto Quant and the Bitfinex, you know, in control. Well, you know, these markets are show you the sentiment, and this is what is going on behind the scenes. You need to be looking at these charts rather than the price charts. But no, I don't really want to tell all the shitcoiners, the shit for brains, all the retail investors what's really going on, do you? No, got to hide it. Absolutely outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Let's have a look at Coin Codex. Here we go. Let's have a look at some of these volumes here. OKX 600,000, Gate.io almost up to 1 million, Binance Futures 7 million, MEXC 500,000, Upbit 2.7. That's all right. Indox again, that's figures wrong. Huobi 6.8 million, Poloniex 2.4, CoinX 1.7, Hotcoin what over 1 million, BitThumb all just under 1 million. Any significant figures here? Not really. There's a sort of the small ones. All right. Let's have a look at Huobi then. He had 24-hour trade volume almost touching 7 million. $7 million 24-hour trade volume on genuine Bitcoin. Nice. Let's have a look at Gate.io. Yep, 837,000. So nearing 1 million. Nearing 1 million. Let's have a look at KuCoin. Here we go. While that's loading, we'll have a look at OKX. $628,000 24-hour turnover of genuine Bitcoin there. Nice. Let's have a look at Orange X. Where were they? 24-hour turnover. Okay, so 245,000. Registering a market price of $31.07. All right. Oh, looks like KuCoin is back up. Here we go. 24-hour trade volume. Oh, that's right. That's compared to USDC rather than like Tether. But yeah, 10.7k. That's not very much at all. Not very much at all. Yeah, not very much at all. But look at this though. Oh, mind you, we're in June. So last time the price had a little breakout here was on 21st of May. Interesting. All right, let's have a look at DXS apps. Bitcoin versus GregCoin. Let's have a look at the price movements over these last few days because I haven't seen them. So we'll do it from the 16th. Oh, had a nice little pump on the 17th. And it's just gone up again here. Just yesterday. Oh, nice. Nice little surge there. Gone up and dropped back down again. Nice, that's all right. Let's have a look at Bitcoin versus USD. Okay. Yep, nothing to write home about. Orange Gateway Exchange, Bitcoin versus USD. So yeah, kind of like plodding along within the sort of $33, $34 range. Had a spike here though, where it went up to 36 just yesterday. People buying in on the exchange. All right, nice. So look at Bitcoin versus GregCoin. Oh, just tailing off there. Never mind. GregCoin, $105,000. Satoshi Observer. So current transactions per second, that's TPS, on GregCoin is 4. Average transaction fee $1.63. And a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, only doing 4 transactions per second. Wouldn't even service my local Tesco's. BSV though, but look at this average transaction fee. That is a tenth, hundredth, thousandths, 20 thousandths of a cent. 20 thousandths of a cent, and the market price is just $31, and it's still got more TPS than GregCoin. at 4.75. Look at this BCH though, current TP. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That's one transactions every 2 seconds. Every 2 seconds, and yet the price is more than 10x that of genuine Bitcoin. And the average fee is like what, half a cent? Still, like Bitcoin absolutely smashing it. 20 thousandths of a cent, the average transaction fee. Just amazing when you realize what you're looking at. Check this graph out. I was quite impressed with this one. So this graph here actually follows the price of genuine Bitcoin, and it follows it sort of through the forks. So again, this is genuine Bitcoin. Started off with a ticker symbol BTC. Look at this. So this was back December 09. Literally zero, and then it goes up to 2p. The following year, that was in August 2010. So Bitcoin Pizza Day was May 22nd, 2010. So just before that, July, June, May. There we go. Oh, May, look at that. So prior to Bitcoin Pizza Day, the price per coin was actually worked out by how much it cost to mine, as in like the energy consumption that it took to extract the coin from the network. That's how they worked it out. But it was the Bitcoin Pizza Day that actually gave Bitcoin its first real world price. So then we're up at 6p here, 20p. So it went up to 20p in December 2010. Look at this. Now it's gone up. Look at, whoa. And I remember this like almost like hitting $1. So that was 2011. This is when the Tulip Trust was created, and it was almost at $1. I remember a family member saying to me, "Oh, look, everyone's getting really excited about Bitcoin because it's nearly hit $1." I had no idea what it was by then. I was just like, "Look, $1 is nearly £1, €1 is nearly £1. Let me know when it gets to £1." Little did I know years later I'd be where I am today with all this knowledge, understanding the significance of what we're facing. So let's have a look at this. So this was December 2014. It was at $1,000. $1,000, 2014. Then it went down, and then it had this rally. Look at that. 2017. And then we had the fork. So 1st of August 2017, and then BCH, yeah, look at that. BCH shooting up to like $4,000. I remember that. I saw it literally right in front of my face. I was watching it. I was like, whoa. But then literally, I think it shot up from like $2,000 to $4,000 literally overnight the moment it launched on Coinbase. I was just like, whoa, I knew that was going to come back down. And the entire market as well. There's a GregCoin was at $17,000, and that sort of dropped down to $3,000. So then the price carried on, hovering around the $2,000 mark. And then we're at BSV, got the ticker symbol, and then we have the hash war and all that. Look at that. Look at that. Genuine Bitcoin was dropping down and down and down, and we're pretty much at a historic low. Apart from, it looks like there was kind of like a little bit of a flash crash there in 2018 where it went to $8.28. But I mean, look at that. So if we go back to a GregCoin here, I mean, we're talking prices that are below. Look at that. 25th of June 2011. Like, we're talking about you're getting in on Bitcoin back in 2011 prices, and then sort of 2013. Like below when it was just below $30. Look at that. Look at that. 2013. Imagine getting into Bitcoin at 2013, like, which is what we're facing now. 2013 prices. Legends will be made because people know what Bitcoin is now. Their purpose, they're buying it with purpose. It's like, yeah, I know what this is for. Sensational stuff. Sensational stuff. Let's have a look at the overall market then. We've got a total market cap of $3.1 trillion, 24-hour trade volume, $84 billion. Let's have a look at GregCoin. Look at that. The 24-hour trade volume, just 1.5%. It's nothing. People have no idea how thin the ice is that they're skating on. Just $30 billion. So to find out how many coins that is, you would just simply divide $30 billion by 103. And, well, in fact, let's do that quickly while we're here. Why not? Let's have a quick look. Just getting my phone out. Calculator. So we've got 30 billion. We'll do 30 billion. 30 billion divided by 103,000. So 200, basically just 290,000 coins. 290,000 coins is all you need. You know, Sailor's got like more than that. Coinbase has got more than that. Literally, all you need is like one big whale to like change their mind, and that's it. The market is gone. Nada. Doesn't exist anymore. 290,000 coins. And you know, we've got over the 1 million coins in the Tulip Trust. Coinbase got over 1 million coins, or nearly 1 million coins, I think. Michael Saylor, a few 100,000 coins. Like, it really wouldn't take much to literally take that to zero. And people have no idea. They're too busy looking at the market cap, thinking, "Oh, it's a $2 trillion market cap. It's here to stay." Well, was Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme like $60 billion? Was that here to stay, or did that crash in 24 hours? Oh, that's right, yeah, because it was a Ponzi scheme and it had no value there. It crashed in 24 hours. Literally zero. Nobody could sell. How many times have we seen that now? And that's what's going to happen. Let's have a look at the overall market there. Now, Ethereum's just taking a bit of a nosedive. BTC taking a nosedive. XRP, not really doing anything. All the market taking a bit of a nosedive here. What's this? White Bitcoin. Oh, give me a break. B crash on the up a little bit. That hyper liquid coin. Good grief, that's where everyone's betting on. Look, they're all just dipping off there. Honestly, look at this sort of like pyramid there in the middle there. Look, you've literally just got the same managers managing all these coins, which is why they're identical. Patterns literally almost like symmetrical. It's ridiculous. So the market's independent. It's literally all banking on Tether. Absolutely everything. Where's Bitcoin? Look at this, $31.12. Wow. Look at that. So breakdown. So Huobi. Wow, taking the lead there. CoinDCX in second, CoinX third apparently. But let's have a look at liquidity. Oh, this has changed a bit. So High BT, and then Pionex apparently in second, then followed by OKX in terms of liquidity. MEXC Global, Hotcoin, CoinW, Zedixian still with liquidity on the exchange. Doesn't match the volumes though at all. Bizarre. Right, let's have a look at this last thing. Check it out. I'm calling this the Kellenschweller countdown. This is going to be how many... Well, actually, it could be any time, I think, within the next 30 days that Terranode might be going live. But what we'll do is, even if we count down to zero, when it gets to zero, we'll then start counting up, just so we've got an idea. But I reckon Terranode launching within the next 90 days. So we're going to do a countdown. Just going to follow this. And I think it could be any day. Literally any day within the next 90 days. Working our open source. So we're just going to keep an eye on that, especially on the chart shows. Counting down the days. Loving that. Right, there we go. That's a 33-minute show. Hope you enjoyed it. So as ever, if you enjoyed these updates, please ding your donations for your appreciation to either Satoshi at Semi.com, Handcash.io, Rockwallet.me, Simply.cash, Related.com, or Senti.ch. I'll probably do a news show in just a minute after I've had a drink. But until then, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
You got SegWit, which we lied and cheated and stealed, and I was part of the lying and cheating and stealing to get SegWit, to get Lightning, which, by the way, had critical vulnerabilities and lost people's money.
The king still has one more move.
Remember, Bitcoin is BSV. Everything else is BS.